7:24 at News Talk 760 WJR. Had a great dinner last night at Amical. Am I pronouncing it right? Amical? Amical. Yeah, it's David Dennison's restaurant on East Front Street in Traverse City. Ann picked it. She said we'd eaten there before. And Paul, you've been here before. Paul, we're in Traverse City. What? Where are we? What? Okay, thank you. Can we eat now? Poor Ann. She's my caretaker. When did you go from being my executive producer to my caretaker? Anyway, we had a great time. That's a nice place. There's a lot of great places here in Traverse City. Susan Goodell is here. Here we are joking about eating good food and having a great time, but we never forget that there are people who are not nearly as fortunate. And we're fortunate to have Forgotten Harvest. And the president and CEO of Forgotten Harvest, Susan Goodell, is on the line. And I know, Susan, it's tougher than ever out there. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Paul W. Thank you for having us on this morning.
Well, we always try to help in any way that we can. And I know you're concerned about the increasing problems and the increasing hunger throughout our Detroit area. People who never, ever thought they were going to need help like this are now depending on you. And therefore, those of us who can have to help you as much as we can. And how can we do that?
Thank you, Paul W. We had a really good year last year. We had a strong year. We grew by 20%. 23.2 million pounds of food were rescued that were destined for the landfill, and instead that good food fed our neighbors in need. Unfortunately, with many of the changes that are happening, the continued high unemployment at 13%, and more people looking for jobs and there are jobs available, and cuts at the state and federal level, the need just keeps growing and growing far beyond what we're able to handle right now.
And what's the best way for people to help out? Obviously, people who are in the restaurant and grocery store business, if they haven't been contacted by Forgotten Harvest, which seems impossible to imagine, but if they haven't been, they should contact you because they can help. And then you need to be able to get that food. You need to be able to go and pick it up and then get it out right away to the various charities that distribute it for you, and that would just take plain and simple money.
Well, certainly donations are always welcome. Every dollar that we raise, we can provide 5 meals for people who otherwise wouldn't eat. But also right now with the harvest season in, like every other fall, when the crops come in, we're in desperate need of volunteers. We need folks to come in and help us with repackaging food from 2,000-pound bags of produce into smaller containers for easy distribution to families in need. But also, I think people really need to be aware of what's happening with some of the safety net that's been available to people through the federal and state government. And I imagine you've been watching this, Paul W., with what's been happening with food assistance and the changes there.
Sure, and in the cut back now in the welfare rules and the tightening up on who is going to be on there beyond 4 years. That's not going to happen. That's changing, and more people that are finding themselves in circumstances that they haven't been in before. And you're not going to be able to rely on the federal government and the state government because the money just isn't there. So that's where good organizations like yours, Susan Goodell, Forgotten Harvest, come in and play a very important role. ForgottenHarvest.org. ForgottenHarvest.org is the way to be in touch. And if you're looking to volunteer, it's a great opportunity for you. In fact, it's a great opportunity for you and your family. What a great learning experience for the kids to go and be involved in something like this and learning at an early age that helping others has a tremendous payback personally.
Paul W., we're increasingly concerned about federal dollars that are being left on the table. More state dollars will actually be required to process the new asset tests for food assistance here in the state. And we're concerned that that's going to leave hundreds of millions of dollars on the table in Washington that could come back and feed hungry people here. And that's actually going to cost the state more money to process all of those cases, and will likely trigger the federal audit, which last time we triggered a federal audit with changes, it was a $60 million price tag. So we're concerned about the increased number of people that will be falling off those programs when there aren't any jobs, but will be turning to the charitable sector seeking food. So volunteers and other assistance is greatly needed now.
Well, it happened October 1st, over the weekend. An estimated 40,000 people affected by the new cap in welfare, two-thirds of them children or teens. And these people have got to be given some assistance until they can start to do it on their own. And that's what Forgotten Harvest is all about, and a great opportunity for people to step up and help out, either as a volunteer or with whatever financial consideration you can offer. Keep up the good work, Susan. You know that WJR is fully committed to helping Forgotten Harvest in every way that we can, and we'll continue to do that.
Great. Thank you so much, Paul W.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It is heading toward 7:30 on News Talk 760 WJR. Coach Mark D'Antonio, Michigan State victorious in Columbus. How about that? That's all good news on a great sports weekend, and Steve Courtney will have details with Coach Mark D'Antonio coming up after we check news and information on the half hour at 7:30 from the still pink tower of the Fisher Building and Dana Clark.
3 die in a house fire in Oak Park. The city of Taylor